Episode 76. Child of the Rapist. My card! Serena screamed and immediately squatted down. Under the manhole cover, the sewage was giving off stink. Serena's smile immediately disappeared as she bristled at Jake. Why did you take it from me? In addition, the street was too wide for him to stop directly above the manhole cover. He chose this moment to take the card away from her and drop it accidentally. Did he do it on purpose? However, Jake is not someone who would do something so childish, right? Glancing at her, some subtle emotions quickly passed Jake's eyes. Was this woman yelling at him? Reaching out a hand, Jake said calmly, "It's just a card. I have one as well." Then he really took a business card from his pocket and gave it to Serena. However, the name on the card was Jake. The card was well designed, with black background and silver letters. However, when Serena saw the black business card, she immediately felt aggrieved, stomped her foot, and left. Seeing Serena leaving on her own, Jake was a bit displeased. "Where are you going?" "Home!" "The car's behind us." "I'll go home myself." Jake arched an eyebrow. Is she being childish? He had thought she would never act like this. At this moment, she was the exact same person on their wedding. When Jake was about to follow her, his phone rang. It was Drake Howard, one of his new friends. Jake picked up, placed the phone next to his ear, but did not speak. "Mr. Robinson? How long did you just give me?"
"Did you lose your memory?
"Did you lose your sense of humor?"
Do you have an answer?"
"Of course. However, prepare yourself first." Jake felt slightly ominous. Maybe there is really something wrong about Serena's background. Serena grew up in an orphanage, although her family name is Clark.
"Tell me something I don't already know."
Jake cut in. Drake said, "Wait for it. This is the foreplay before orgasm."
"Just tell me."
"Easy. You can't rush through foreplay." It was the greatest pleasure of Drake to make Jake lose his mind. Jake resisted the urge to hang up and remained silent. Sensing the potential crisis, Drake immediately cleared his throat and said seriously, "Back in time, the daughter of the Clark family, Melina Clark, was lost when she was 17. According to investigation, she was a victim of human trafficking and was raped in a remote village, after which she gave birth to a child." Jake narrowed his eyes and said that, "You mean, very likely, your wife is the child of the rapist and Melina. However, this is just a guess, and this is not even the scariest fact about Serena." Drake left a cliffhanger deliberately and paused. "The scarier fact is that
I haven't transferred the 10 million.
Drake immediately sat up straight and said, "Damn it, I have finished your work and you haven't sent me the money?" Serena had gone far. Glancing at the white purse in his hand, Jake did not chase after her. Walking slowly next to his car, Jake went inside his car and said,
"If you do that again, I will ask my assistant to pull the investment back."
Hearing that, Drake immediately grinned. "There is actually not much left. The family that bought Melina later moved into a city. Melina pretended to do grocery shopping one day, and she ran away with her daughter. She wrote a letter about who she was and her daughter's name, and she put it next to her daughter in front of an orphanage."
"So, she wrote about the Clark family?"
"Yes. Basically, she said she was a member of the Clark family, and whoever sent her daughter back to the Clark family could receive a huge reward. The director of the orphanage believed it and was overjoyed. However, When she sent the daughter to the Clark family, they did not admit that the baby was Melina's. In addition, they even threatened to call the police for fraud. So that baby grew up in the orphanage. I believe you didn't know about these.
You're right.
Jake had no idea that this was the truth. The Clark family were so ruthless that they did not even take in a baby related to them. Do you remember that Captain Henrik went to execute a project when he was about to retire? It was about 18 years ago. A woman named Melina saved his life and took a bullet for him. Captain Henrik was very touched and said he would agree to anything she asked. Melina then said she wanted her daughter married to Captain Henrik's most outstanding grandson. This, I believe, you already knew. However, I'm curious as to why the Clark family was willing to accept this niece later.
Grandpa has his means.
Jake slowly lit a cigarette and watched it burn. However, I also found out about another fact.
What is it?
Serena is not related to, at all. Serena walked quickly, but suddenly found that her white purse was gone. She had no money with her at all, and it was impossible for her to walk back to the house, since it would take more than half an hour driving back. More importantly, she had no sense of direction at all. Serena was about to go mad. It was the first time for her to feel so frustrated since her rebirth. Was she supposed to walk back like this? In addition, Jake had her cell phone. What should she do? Go back to the restaurant to look for him? But she had been walking for nearly 20 minutes. If she turned back at this point, he might have already left. More importantly, she was the one who had stormed away. Forget it. Maybe Daniel is still in the restaurant. Serena chose to return to the restaurant, but found the black Maybach was still parked at the same place. When she turned around the corner, Jake glanced at her. Sensing his gaze, Serena's heartbeat accelerated. Was he waiting for her? However, seeing the cell phone in his hand, she then understood. This guy was simply taking a phone call. Walking up furiously, Serena pulled the front door open and went inside. All Serena could see was the car, and she did not notice that opposite her, 2 young girls were watching. Isn't that Campus Belle? Didn't she have a concussion? Look, she went inside the car. It's a Maybach. That's at least $1 million. Take a picture of it. Faking sick leave. She's actually having a good time with her sugar daddy. What a slut.